And it's another check-in, y'all. A quick check-in this time. I am in the middle, I don't know, middle end, close to the end of another fast. As you know, we've been doing fasting as an extended fast for several months now, and this is just another one of those check-ins that we do late at night. This was a little later than normal, but here we are. Hey, if you're new to me, I'm Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health in your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And in this year, y'all, new year, new you. This year, our goal is to put diabetes in remission. How do we get off some diabetes medications? How do we improve our metabolic health? In fact, how do we reverse diabetes? We're talking to adults with type 2 diabetes, and that's what we've been doing. Been using this amazing tool of fasting, and we're going to take a look here in just a little while. Take a look at my monitors and my reports. You guys know how we do. I've got my monitors over here that we're going to look at. I've got my reports over to the side. Yeah, that's my cable for my phone, and we'll take a look at those here in just a little while to see what they are, and also talk a little bit about how I'm feeling. So let's do that right now. Let's hop over and let's do a check-in so that we can find out how I'm feeling physically, mentally, and emotionally. So physically, a lot of times when we talk about fasting, there is this idea that when you fast, you begin to feel lightheaded, tired, fatigued, dizzy, all those things that supposedly go along with fasting. Now, here's the truth. If you prepare for the fast, if you prepare for the fast, then you don't actually have all of those symptoms, or you have minimal symptoms. A lot of times the reason we feel lightheaded, dizzy, sweaty is, one, because our bodies are used to being at high numbers, particularly if we're diabetic. And as our numbers get lower into the normal range, our body responds in the way it would as if we were actually low. So a lot of times we're not low, our blood sugars are actually in the normal range, or actually sometimes high. But because our bodies are used to being higher numbers, then we begin feeling those. The other thing is, if you've not done a good job of preparing for the fast, as I always say, there are 3 phases of the fasting: preparing for the fast itself, and then breaking the fast. So if you're not prepared for the fast, you can a lot of times feel some of those symptoms: lightheaded, dizzy, sweaty, so on. And then the third one, which is not really the last one, but a very important one, is that when you are fasting, if you've not adjusted your medications, the medication that you're on, if you're a diabetic, if you are on medications that will cause blood sugars to go down, the blood sugars are still going down because of the medication. So sometimes you'll feel the effects of simply having the medication on board. I'm feeling good. I prepared well for the fast. Actually, I started the fast early, and we'll talk about that here in just a little while. And so prepared for the fast. As I got into it, was hydrated. I made sure that I was well rested. There wasn't a lot of stressful things going on. This week has actually been relatively simple compared to other weeks. Okay, so physically feeling good, mentally feeling clear. So once again, going back to how we feel when we are fasting, if you've not done a good job of preparing for the fast, making sure that you're hydrated, oftentimes people will feel a little fuzzy, a little cloudy in their thinking, because there are all these other things that are going on that coming into the fast have not been taken care of. The other thing is that depending on how far you are in the fast, those first 12 hours or so, often we're thinking about food, right? Not because we're hungry, but we're so used to eating that we are still kind of processing food, and that can kind of distract us, and it makes us seem as though we have fuzzy thinking, but we're actually just thinking about food. And then, well, let's go back there. So me personally, feeling clear, feeling on point, if you will, not fuzzy. Like I said, I did a good job of preparing for the fast. I'm well hydrated. I've been drinking some electrolytes this week during this fast, and so that's actually had a significant impact on how I'm feeling. And then emotionally, excited. So yesterday I was down at Auburn, and they had a program there. If you followed us on social media, you saw that that was an award that I received, and so I was excited to get down there, excited to get back, and just emotionally, not a lot of stressful things going on this week. That was a high point for the week. Came back, and I'm continuing the fast. So emotionally feeling good. So physically, mentally, emotionally, all three right now, not a big issue for me at this time. All right, so let's hop over and let's take a look at blood sugars, right? So right now, you'll see that my Libre, which you're seeing on the screen, says that my blood sugar is 70. Down at the bottom, you'll see what my blood sugars have been running over the last 24 hours. And then if I scroll over here to the Dexcom, you'll see that says that we're 84 right now, and you'll see what the blood sugars are down at the bottom. And so normally, as you know, I start my fast on Tuesday evening, so Tuesday night about 6 o'clock, and then so Wednesday night would be 24 hours, and then Thursday would be 48, and then Friday we break the fast at 72 hours. Well, this week I actually started the fast. I was up late Monday. I did the show, and there were some things I was taking care of, and I have been in the process of trying to push my metabolism a little bit more, right? So there are some physical things that I want to happen. There are some laboratory things that I want to happen. There are some other mental things that I am working on, right? So let's walk through those a little bit. As you know, we've been kind of working on diabetes remission, right? Diabetes reversal. And so A1Cs for me have been pretty good. My last A1C was a 6.1. Blood sugars have been pretty good, and we'll take a look at that here in just a little while. And weight has actually come down. If you remember, in March we hit our 12-month mark, so 52 pounds, so 1 pound per week, and actually got below that as we moved into month of April and May and so forth. But I found that my weight kind of fluctuated right around the same 10 pounds or so. And so I had gotten down to 188, gotten down actually to 184, and then we would fluctuate back and forth, 184 to 190, 193, 194, so about that 10 pounds. And so I wanted to push the A1C lower, and I wanted to push the weight lower, right? So I actually have pushed my eating window, or pushed my fasting period, if you will, started a little earlier. So anyway, so this week I was up late, and so I started the fast actually on Monday morning at 3 a.m. So as I came into Tuesday, that was 24 hours, Wednesday 48 hours, and then here coming up in just 2 hours or so, 2 hours and 15 minutes maybe, would be 72 hours. Okay, so we did that early in, like I said, pushing the metabolism. And then you saw that I went to the gym a couple weeks ago, and so I'm working with the trainer, the guy who's helping me out. If you've been following our church, one of the guys there, one of the coaches, has been helping me out, and so I've got some body sculpting things that I'm working on. And so part of that is, okay, how do I push my metabolism just a little bit more to get to some of those numbers, those number goals that I want, okay? And so that's why we started early and are pushing this just a little bit longer in terms of the number of hours that we're doing, okay? And we'll come back and we'll do more conversation about that. This is just a quick check-in. I wanted to do that because we do that usually on Tuesdays, And I know it's a little late this morning, but I thought I'd come on and do that anyway. All right. So with that explanation, let's go back and let's take a look at this is my Dexcom that you see on the screen. And as you know, we've got my meters over to the side, a Keto Mojo that does both the glucose and the ketones, and then my contour. So let's go ahead and let's get a strip into that contour meter. We'll see what that is here. And we'll get a strip into the Keto Mojo. Pop that in. Oops, it's got that the wrong side. Here we go. All right, and grab my Lancet. And let's see, let's use this finger. So we'll need to get a drop of blood there. Actually, 3 drops of blood, right? Because I need to do 2 for the Keto Mojo, 1 for the blood sugar, and then one for the ketones. And then 1 for the contour. And as as you're kind of processing, I want you to begin thinking, what do you think my ketones are going to be? All right, so 59 for the Keto Mojo, and then 64 for the contour. Well, let's hop back over here and let's take a look. And this guy says 73 right now, right? So that's pretty different between the 3 of them. And let's grab this over. Get our ketone strip into there. What do you think my ketones are going to be? All right, what do you think ketones are going to be at this point? So almost 72 hours. 70 hours. 72 hours. 70 hours coming up right now. All right, so let's get that started, and let's pop over here. And let's talk a little bit more. We'll come back. We'll see what that is in just a minute. All right. Let's see. What I want to do is hop over and take a look at my report. Let me do it this way. All right. I like this view. Right. So you'll see there my report from my Dexcom, and you see that my average blood sugar is 92 for the last 14 days. If I change that to 90 days, you see that for the last 90 days, my average blood sugar is 106. I'm in the target 92% of the time. That is a range between 70 to 180, and an estimated A1C, or the glucose management indicator, is 5.8, right? So I actually drew blood this morning, so we'll see what that is. That's my kind of preparing for my visit that's coming up here in just a little while with my physician. So 106, 5.8, and let's go ahead and let's take a look at what my blood sugars actually have been over the course of the last 2 to 3 days. And let me pull it up this way so we could take a look a little bit more. All right. So let's go. So like I said, we started that Monday morning right around 3 o'clock with the average blood sugar, with a blood sugar of 108. And then for the rest of that day, blood sugars continue to go down and down and down and down and down into the 90s, 70s. So come back, and if we go 24 hours, that would be Tuesday morning. So we kind of hung in the 70s and 80s. Now, right here, look at that, right? So blood sugars went down to 70s and 80s and then started popping up to 90 or 111, right? So part of that's probably the dawn phenomenon and probably toothpaste, yeah. So I gotta I changed toothpaste, by the way. Down into 70s and 80s. And so here's some disconnect between my meter and my phone. That's Wednesday morning. That was yesterday morning, so because it's Thursday now. And then right here, I actually had to change my meter because it had 3 more days left, but for some reason it was not giving us, it wouldn't connect. and then it says, hey, go ahead and change it. So we changed it right here, and have been kind of running in the 100s, 90s to 100s coming into the morning. And right here, just past midnight, we're down in the 87. Okay. And so that's what the monitor has been reporting, and that's what you see there on the report. Hopping back over here and taking a look at this is my Libre right now that you're seeing on the screen that shows blood sugar of 74, and then of course back to 84 for the Dexcom. Now remember that meters, any meter, any group of meters can be about 20% different. So for example, if my blood sugar is 80, 20%, that would be 16 off, so almost 20. So that can be anywhere down from 64 up to 80, 90, up to 90, from 64 up to 90. That's a 20% different. And you remember what my monitors showed, the Keto Mojo and the Contour. All right, so we saw those. Let's go ahead and I'm going to pop back over here because I want to see what my Keto Mojo said that my ketones were. So I've got to take this out, of course, turn it on. And while that's happening, go over here and grab my phone because I want to get to the Keto Mojo app. And we'll see that start to sync there in just a little while. And there it is, syncing, right? So 59 for the blood sugar, and my ketones are 2.2. So 59 blood sugar, and then 2.2. So let's hop over and take a closer look at that. So let's take a look at the graph. And the tan line, that's blood sugar, and the turquoise line, that is those are ketones. And as I started eating when I broke the fast last Friday, started eating, blood sugars went up, tan line is going up, and ketones went down. And you'll see that they got down to 0.1, I think is what we talked about like on Monday as I was doing the show. And that Monday when I did the show, that was, let's see, 12 hours plus what? 3 to 7. So 12 hours, about 15 hours or so. Did I do that math right? Anyway, so from 3 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night. Okay. And so as I started eating, or as I stopped eating, blood sugars went down, and then the ketones are going up. And to where we see them right now, 2.2, and blood sugar 59, and that's now coming up on 70 hours, right? So yeah, about 70 hours, because it's 12:51, and 3 o'clock would be 72 hours. All right, so that's where we are. That's what blood sugars are. That is what our ketones are, and you see what my blood sugars have been over the course of the last 2 to 3 days. Coming back to talk a little bit about ketones. Remember, ketones that are less than 0.5 are considered normal. 0.5 to 1.5 are considered nutritional ketosis. And then above 1.5 is considered therapeutic ketosis. And so right now I am 2.2. 2.2 for my ketones, which is in the blue graph down, or the blue bar down at the bottom. And so now in the therapeutic ketosis arena. And so my plan is to kind of extend this into Friday. So we're going to do a little bit more than, much more than 72 hours. All right. If you're out there and you've been fasting, go ahead and drop that in the comments. Say yes. I know we have several community members that have been fasting. Some people that have done 96 hours with me a couple weeks ago. Or was it last week that we did a 96 hours? And a couple that did before that. We've had so many people come through the office that are in fasting, that are decreasing their insulin, that are getting good weight results. And speaking of weight, let me go over and I'm going to take a look at what my weight has been. Let's see, where is my app? Let's take a look at that. Right. So right now, the weight was 180.2. So 180.2. Back in March, we had got down to 188. And so, like I said, we're pushing some other numbers. And really, we've got to have a conversation, because what I want to show, let me do it a little differently. Let me pop over here really quickly and see if I could find that. I wasn't planning to do this, but hey, since we're here, let's go ahead and talk. Let's see. What I'm looking for is one of the old, I think this one. Oh, I gotta go back further. I'm trying to find one of the screenshots that I did so I can compare. This was several weeks ago with where I am now, because I want to show you some of those now. Okay, here's a good one. All right, yeah, let's take a look here. All right, so this is a screenshot that I did, and this was back May 13th. Weight 195. Remember I told you we fluctuate between 184-ish to 194, 195. And you'll see there, so the weight was there, BMI was 28, body fat, I'm reading straight across, weight, BMI, body fat 25.4, fat-free body weight was 145, and then subcutaneous tissue 22.1%, and visceral fat was 11%. Okay, so that's where we are there. And then what I want to do is hop over and take a look at now. So weight 180, BMI 25.8, so that's coming down, and a BMI of 25 is considered normal. You'll see the graph there. My body fat 22.1, so that's now in the green, in the target. Fat-free body weight 140, so that's now in the green, so in the target. Subcutaneous tissue, subcutaneous fat 19.4, so we're shooting there for about a 16.7. Visceral fat is 9, and then you'll see all of those other markers are in the green. So we'll come back and take a look and actually talk through all of those. But so when I said I'm pushing my metabolism, what I've been doing is tracking all of these, tracking all these numbers, and so my goal is to get all of those within the green, right? And we'll talk more about that as we do shows coming up. So I've got 3 more. So I've got my BMI, so 0.8 to get the BMI down to 25. I've got about 2.3-ish to get my subcutaneous fat down into 16, and then another 6.2 pounds to get the weight actually where it needs to be. Okay, in terms of this. And like I said, we're doing some body sculpting ideas, so we'll come back and we'll do more to talk about that. All right, so let's see. We've got Life and Game. Dr. Woode, do you remember me? My skull trooper disease is terminal. I have we got a visitor out there, and as I said, there are some disease processes that we may need to talk about offline. Thank you for popping through. I'm glad that you're here to join us tonight and to see the show. But yeah, so if you have some specific questions about some specific disease processes outside of diabetes and endocrinology, go ahead and drop a line to me, dwood@dwainwoodemd.com or info@dwainwoodemd.com, and we'll be happy to kind of have conversations with you offline for those specific ones. If you do have questions about diabetes in particular, go ahead and drop those in the comments, because we are here working on reversing our diabetes. That's the plan, right? Reversing diabetes, and all the tools that we're using are with the intention of trying to get that done. Okay. Let me hop over and let's take a look at our Well, actually, before I do that, you'll notice, y'all, you notice that I got my t-shirt on. Unlimited, right? So unlimited potential, unlimited power, unlimited improvement, right? So as we're talking through, as we're going through the process of reversing diabetes, about getting our metabolic health where we want it to be, right? That's it. This is where we are, okay? We are talking about being unlimited by educating, empowering, and encouraging y'all. Okay, and we'll talk more about that as we get into the year. You'll see more about that on the channel. Hey, I see Jennifer out there. Jennifer saying howdy. Hey, Jennifer, thank you for stopping through. Okay, thank you for being here with us, and thank you for hanging out. I am just about talking about our plan and our platform. So here we educate, we empower, and we encourage. We educate with the information that we provide, the shows, the podcasts, the blogs that we write. All of that is with the intention of providing education, because we change our mindset, we change our thought process. In order for us to have benefit, we've got to have the information. Number two, we empower, and we empower by the tools that we provide. One of the amazing tools that we've been using is this tool of fasting, right? So amazing results that we can get. And so we want to make sure that you're not just listening to the information, but that you are in the process of putting this information into practice, and that occurs with the tools. And then, of course, we encourage. And the encouragement comes from the community that you are part of. When you are here, the community is enriched. The community is empowered by your story and the places that you find yourself. So we educate, we empower, and we encourage. Our HEAT model is one of the big tools that we have learned. And this is one of the ones that will push us to eat, right? Remember, in the process of fasting, of doing a particular meal plan, in the process of improving our metabolic health, there are decisions that we make in terms of food, and some of the things that we will eat, won't eat, different times when we do that, and the things that can derail us are all given in the HEAT model. So our habits, the habits that we've developed in eating at particular times, eating particular occasions when we're not hungry, the emotions, right? Being lonely, tired, being frustrated, being mad, being bored, all of those things, those emotions will push through decisions that we've made in terms of our meal plan. So we want to make sure that we are harnessing and we are managing those emotions. The HEAT model, the emotional intelligence that we learned, those are good ways of doing that. And then access, right? So you guys know there are certain things I can't bring into the studio. I can't bring into the house, actually, because if I do, it derails me. And it is a part of how we work. If there are things that you know that you have problems with, those are things that you probably should not have in your environment. We talked about cleaning up the environment. We did a show several weeks ago on our home, our work, and our community in terms of how we clean those up in terms of the access to things that we have. And then, of course, taste. And our taste will push us to remember things, right? The food, we're never chasing food. We're always chasing the memory, the feeling that we get, the sensations that we get from food. And that is all given in that taste model, right? And then our call to action, y'all. The call to action is join the challenges. Number one, don't just let this be something that you have on the shelf. Join the challenges. Put them into practice. And the challenges that we've had so far is one, to figure out your why. Why are you trying to be healthy? Why are you doing the things that you want to do? Why are you putting yourself in this position to say, now I'm ready to take charge of my health? Figure out your why. One of the tools we've been using is fasting. And so fasting is an amazing way to improve our metabolic health, not just for people who are diabetic, but people who have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, polycystic ovarian syndrome, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, obesity, and being overweight. All of those things are can get benefit from fasting. So we've challenged people to fast once a week for a 24-hour period. And then, of course, the heat model that we just went through to figure out which of the triggers are the ones that drive you. I'll tell you, for me personally, it is emotions, access, and taste. I've got 3 of them, y'all. See, emotions, access, those are the things that drive me, that will derail me, that will take me off the plan, that will cause me to do and eat things that I said I wasn't going to eat, right? So you may be a habit person. You may be a taste person. You may be an emotion person. So whatever it is, we got to figure that out, because once you know that, then you're much more able to handle it, to deal with it, and to not succumb. And then in the month of April, we talked about creating a 7-day meal plan, and the challenge was to create a healthy meal, right? Create a meal that minimized processing, that was whole food based, that didn't have a lot of extra sugar, no added sugars, that had some starchy vegetables, that had some non-starchy vegetables, lean meat or lean protein, healthy fats, that was tasty, and that had the appropriate portion size. Yep. And then, of course, in the month of May, which we are in right now, the challenge is to find someone to mentor, to begin teaching them, having them come along with you in the new year, new you model. Don't just keep this on the shelf for yourself. You can be a voice for change. There are 1 billion, over 1 billion people on the planet right now that are diabetic or pre-diabetic, not to mention all of those that are at risk for heart disease and strokes and obesity and high cholesterol and high blood pressure. All of those people can get benefit because you are mentoring them. And so then we want you to go ahead and we want you to invite someone to be in the space. And this goes right along with the challenge, right? The challenge for this month. Send a link to someone. You know, family members, someone in your community, someone in your job, someone in your social sphere that can benefit for this. Send them the link. Say to them, hey, let's go watch this together. Send them one of the links to one of the videos, one of the shows, one of the playlists that we have. We've got several of them out there. Actually, let me pull up. Let's see. Let's do it this way. There we go. Okay. So several playlists that we have out on the channel. There we go. All right, so this is our channel, right? So podcasts, we have several podcasts that are out there. How to reverse your diabetes, fasting for beginners. Of course, we did the Q4 winning moves back in the end of last year. Mastering diabetes, Beyond the Disease with Dr. Dwain Woode. So all of these are all things that we have out there on the channel, and of course, the lives that we've been doing, right? They're all listed there, right? All of them are there for you to go back and you can watch them and put those things into practice. So make sure that you are availing yourself of some of those resources. That's part of the education part, right? All right. So, hey, as always, I am excited to be here. I am happy that I got a chance to spend some time with you to do this check-in again, right? And so, right now, so 90 hours and 53 minutes is what, 90 hours and 7 minutes is where we are. So we've got another almost 2 hours to go to get to our 72 hours. But we'll come back, we'll do check-ins tomorrow. And then, of course, as we get into the next day and breaking the fast and all those types of things, we will talk again. But thank you for joining me. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here on the channel, I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health in your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And in this year, y'all, new year, new you. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow at our check-in. And then on Monday at our regular show, 7 p.m. Central, right here. Good night.